Hey everybody, this is Brian.
Hey, it's Levi.
And this is the Cryptid Chaos Podcast. Just us today. Emily is currently out of town, so we're going to go ahead and get this episode on the way.
All right.
Just want to remind everybody, like we always do, the premise of the show is pretty much I will give Levi here 3 cryptids to guess from. 2 of them are true cryptids. 1 is a fake. And for it being fake, it can either be something that is already real, so like a platypus, something like that.
Yep.
Or anything that is proven fake, like a hoax, like our first episode, the Thornton Gorilla was fake. It was a hoax. But anything else in between, like the Flatwoods Monster, that's kind of more,
supernatural,
paranormal. We still don't count that as a cryptid because it still hasn't been found. Or anything else like Mothman, Loch Ness Monsters, your normal cryptid stuff.
Yeah.
So that's going to be our criteria for the show. That's what the show is about. Good sir, Levi, are you ready for this?
I'm ready. Let's do this.
All right. Don't really have a theme for this one. These are all in North America, but kind of going off theme today, trying something a little different. These are some more well-known cryptids if you're from those areas. One of them is really well-known, but just want to kind of let people know about them some more. So our first one is going to be a fan favorite. It is the jackalope.
The jackalope.
Lots of people have heard about a jackalope before. First discovered in 1932 in Douglas, Wyoming. The jackalope is a American staple with long antelope-esque horns protruding from its small rabbit head. The animal resembles a small deer, as it's sometimes called the warrior rabbit. The hybrid creature can be vicious and unafraid to use its antlers in a fight. Many people have seen them even as far back as the early 1800s. Many have even had them in novelty mounts of jackalopes, but none of these are proven real. Everyone's probably seen at least a stuck jackalope or like a jackalope mount or something. It's a very common Wild West item.
Yep.
However, those are all fake. There isn't a lot of true jackalopes, quote unquote, that people have seen. People do see them in the wild quite a bit. The reason why people think that they are so scarce is because people do believe that these cryptids do mate during lightning storms. So that's why they're so rare to find. Mm-hmm. Like I said, the first documented form was in 1939. However, even in the Wild West, there's reports of these things all around the American West. So even in things like Red Dead Redemption and stuff like that, they even have jackalopes. So very well-known cryptid in America. That is the first one, the jackalope there.
The jackalope.
So,
the
second one is the squonk. Much harder to pronounce.
I like the name. Squonk.
So the squonk, first spotted in the late 19th century in Hemlock Forest of Pennsylvania. The squonk's skin is ill-fitting, being covered with warts and scraping the ground. So it gets a lot of bruises and blisters, and the warts get infected and stuff. And because of that, it is ashamed of its appearance and it is constantly hiding, which is why it's very hard to find because it's always hiding. When it is cornered or captured, it is capable of dissolving itself completely into a pool of its own tears and bubbles. This then kills the squonk. And the squonk doesn't have a scientific name. It is Lycopodius dissolvus, which pretty much is Latin for cries and dissolves. So, that is the squonk. There's actually been reports of people trying to catch these things before, and whenever they've seen them, but there just really hasn't been a lot of physical proof, so no one can actually prove that they exist. So, right up the cryptid alley.
Yeah, that's very, very interesting.
So,
I think that's going to be my next D&D character's name is Squonk.
Squonk! And he's from the lovely state of Pennsylvania, so...
Pennsylvania, all right.
And as for our last one, I couldn't pass this up, guys.
Oh, no. It's not going to be another vegetable lamb of Tartary, is it?
No. The name alone drove me to this one. So, this is the Cetochin.
Cetochin?
However, that is the First Nations word for it. The more common use for it is the Yukon beaver eater. So, that is the official name that they give it, is the Yukon beaver eater.
Okay.
A Canadian First Nations tale that has been seen all the way up to the 1900s. Was first documented, or not really documented. First Nations is kind of more the indigenous people of Canada, for people who don't know. So they have stories from this all the way back from like the 1500s of the Yukon beaver eater. Okay. Or like I said, they call it the Satochin. But yeah, so they've had reports from all the way back then, but it's been reported all the way up to the 1900s of these sightings. They are described to be as bigger than a grizzly bear, and they resemble a mix of like a giant sloth / like giant anteater kind of creature.
Okay.
So stands about 8 to 9 feet tall, and they have a major appetite for beavers, just the name. And they also have been reports of it stealing meat and other goods from people of the Yukon. So the Yukon's mainly, not mainly, but has quite a few First Nations people that inhabit it. Mm-hmm. So a lot of the reports come from there. And actually one of the most recent reports that I had seen responded for this was back in 1989. So fairly recently for cryptids anyways. But
yes.
Yeah, I really just couldn't pass it up because of the name, the Yukon Beaver Eater.
Beaver Eater, that's excellent.
I couldn't pass up that name.
Very interesting.
My childish humor.
I've only heard of the jackalope. That's the only one I've heard of.
So,
but I think I've heard a little bit more.
Do you guys have any questions on any of those?
No questions, other than where would you get the name Squonk?
Squonk? I mean, I'm a very creative guy. What are you talking about? I come up with names all the time.
I got no questions.
All right. Well, with that being said, then, what do you think is the fake? Or not the true cryptid? You gotta start your streak again.
I gotta try to start my streak.
You broke it last episode.
I did. You know what? I'm gonna go crazy here, and I'm gonna say that the jackalope is the fake, and I believe that it's just been disproven wrong, or proven wrong.
You believe that's been proven to be a real animal?
No, that it has been.
You believe it's a hoax?
I believe that one is the hoax.
Okay. And the other two?
And the other two, I think, are probably real.
Are real? Okay. Are you ready?
Oh, no. Did I get my streak back?
Yes, you did start it. The jackalope is fake.
Yes. That kind of creeps me out, though, because the squonk is a little bit disturbing.
Yes. Okay. So, like we said, as we call fake, quote-unquote, is something that has been proven, or it's something that has been proven real or fake, or a hoax. So
the jackalope has been proven.
Going back to the squonk is another creature from the fearsome critters of the Lumberwoods. We talked about that in the episode with the saber cat
or splinter cat.
Splinter cat, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a lumberjack.
So no lumberjack tail.
Yeah.
However, this has been reported extensively through Pennsylvania even after that time.
Okay.
It's mainly seen up in the mountains by like where you would. When the lumber industry was going crazy. Mm-hmm. But it's still been reported. Unlike the splinter cat, which has been disproven completely, they still have anything on the squonk, really. So it is still technically a cryptid. They don't have any proof of it existing or not existing. Like I said, whenever someone does try to get any kind of proof of it, it evaporates away. And there hasn't been any footage or any other kind of, proof of it. Or disproof of it, unlike the splinter cat. So I just want to make that clear that, yes, these are both found in the fearsome critters of the Lumberwoods, but one has been disproven, this one has not.
Is that the title of the book?
Yep, Fearsome Creatures of the Lumberwoods.
I'm going to Amazon.
Don't do that, you're going to take away all my critters. So, as for the Yukon Beaver Eater, there's not really a whole bunch more info on that. A lot of scientists think that may be like a prehistoric giant anteater or some kind of giant beast from back in the day. Like I said, a lot of people are still reporting this being around the area, attacking them when they're fishing and stuff like that. This pretty much is a humongous kind of bear-looking thing. Just really, really liked the name, so
yes,
had to throw it in. And now back to the jackalope. So yes, despite what most people think, you'll see this online all the time, the jackalope is not a real animal or cryptid. So, like I said, it was first discovered in 1932. That's not technically true, but it is. So, pretty much in 1932, there was two brothers. Their name was Ralph and Douglas Herrick. So they made it, actually. They went hunting one day, got a few jackrabbits and everything, Threw one aside. When they threw one aside in their house, they threw it aside next to some antlers. And one of the brothers thought it'd be funny to, mount it that way. So they decided to mount it with the antlers and everything. Thought it was funny, showed it around town. And
it just grew from there.
Well, a local owner of the Levant Hotel actually liked it enough that he bought it from him for $10. So that was the original jackalope, quote unquote.
Okay.
And ever since then, over, like I said, they're based in Wyoming. Douglas, Wyoming is where it was first made. That's where they were from. So ever since then, this jackalope mount was hanging up in this hotel. So guests that came by and everything saw it and everything. The legends kind of grew on and on from there. That's where like the modern jackalope kind of has came from.
Okay.
So yes, it's completely like a novelty kind of thing. Fun fact about that: the original mount that was made by the brothers was actually hanging up in the Levant Hotel all the way up to 1977 when it was stolen by somebody and has not been found since.
Oh no!
So a little piece of cryptid history is gone.
If you find it, call us.
There we go. I would love to see that, but unfortunately, it's gone. So, however, for people that say, "Well, I swear I saw it myself," there has been sightings of jackalopes before, and scientists have kind of proven them fake because there are a disease that rabbits can get. It's called shop philanoma. And it's a type of cancer that causes horn-like bumps to grow on their head. So they're not full-on antlers, but,
like bumps.
Like little bumps that kind of protrude out a little bit like a horns. So people think that they're jackalopes because of the horns, when it's just them being sick bunnies.
Okay.
So, sorry to be a bummer there. But yeah, so any kind of sightings that they have seen, if they've looked in the area, they've discovered rabbits who have had this kind of disease. Has been very common for them, or not common. It's an uncommon disease for rabbits, but for the sightings, it's common that rabbit is around. Let me put it that way.
Okay.
So, but yeah, there's still a lot of people who believe that the jackalope is a real cryptid. Unfortunately, I hate to break a bubble, but it is not.
Oh.
So, but still a really, really big part of American history and just American folklore in general. So, I just had it included on the list. I was hoping to stump you guys. Because there's a lot of people who still believe that it is a real cryptid. So
it's very true.
But yeah, so that is it for our episode. Like I said, we've got the jackalope, the squonk, and the beaver eater.
Don't forget to check the Instagram and Twitter.
And Facebook. We got everything on there. All these photos will be posted on those sites as well.
The squonk looks terrifying.
Oh yeah, I showed up to them before the episode that we can kind of look, but yeah, we'll post them before we post the episode. But yeah, the squonk is great. My wife actually said that he looked ugly, and I told him that she should not body shame. So that's why we haven't seen the squonks, because they're scared. They're sad about their body.
Oh.
But all right, guys. Well, that is it for our episode. A little bit of a short one today, but very enjoyable, I believe.
Yes.
And with that, my name is Brian.
I'm Levi.
Thanks a lot, guys. Hey everybody, this is Brian here. Just want to thank everybody for listening to the podcast. Just want to do a special shout out to Darren Curtis. He is the person who wrote our intro and outro music, which is Spellbound by Darren Curtis. Just want to thank everyone for listening. If you guys have any new cryptids or anything you guys want to send in for the show, or just want to talk with us, you guys can go ahead and email us at cryptidchaos2020@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Facebook at cryptidchaos2020 or Twitter at cryptidchaos20. Thank you for listening, and you all have a good day.